All right. So I want to share with you guys a quick indicator that I've been testing out using to help you with your trading. This indicator, I found it online through a video that I watched on YouTube. Of course, everything's on YouTube, right? YouTube University. But I want to share how I've been using the indicator. I've already back tested the indicator. According to the YouTube channel, you can get an 85% success rate if you read it correctly. So anywhere from 85% or higher. If you just follow the trend, follow the clouds, because the red and green are clouds. Red means downtrend, green means uptrend. So you never have to second guess what trend you're in. So based on knowing that, all you got to do is focus on entries, right? You can enter 15-minute, 30-minute with this, which is really good. You could do your analysis on the 1 hour and the 4 hour based on your analysis, technical analysis. And I'm going to show you how to read the tool, how to use the tool. So hopefully you guys could practice and use it. Please don't back test everything before you execute any trades and make sure it works for you. But how do you read this and how do you set it up? So let me clear all the lines that I put on here. And this is do a 15-minute chart. Okay. So this is Ethereum USD. Okay. Ethereum USD, which is a cryptocurrency. Okay. And as you can see, this green here is basically telling us, if we look left, that this whole time, Ethereum was in an uptrend, right? Was in an uptrend. I mean, a lot of consolidation. We are familiar with consolidation. We also are familiar with the zones as far as the 3 different phases and so on and so forth. But basically the way this works, you want to look for the indicator. The first one is called, if you go to indicators, you just type in black. It's called, here it is, Black Cat L2 leading KDJ. Is it this one? No, hold on. Oh, Black Flag, sorry, Black Flag. So it's a swing arm ATR trend indicator. So this is the first one by VSN FND. So you want to look for that one. Okay. And make it one of your favorites, right? Okay. Now, when you get the indicator, which is this one, okay, the parameters as far as setting it up, when you go to inputs, you want to change the ATR factor to 6, because I think it defaults to 5. So you're going to change it to 6. Okay. All right, and then click OK. But as far as the style is concerned, you want to take off all of this stuff. You want to unclick it, right? Just make sure that you don't have all this stuff here, because it'll confuse the reading. So make sure all those boxes are unclicked. Okay, let's look at that again. So as you can see on mine, none of those boxes are clicked. Just leave the ones that are clicked on, like the plots background. Yeah, leave those boxes clicked. And that's it. Okay, so that's the first indicator. Okay. The second indicator is these lines that you see here, which are your EMAs or moving averages, right? So single table version 1. Okay. So let's see. So it's this one right here, but only underscore Fibonacci. So you want to find this one as well. So you just click in single signal, and then you'll find it right here. You click on that. That's your second indicator. And then when you look at the settings, You can change the colors and make it more visible for yourself. That's what I did. And the inputs should stay the same. So you can screenshot that if you'd like. I'll pause the video, but those are your inputs. Okay, show EMAs, okay? And you close it out, and this is what you get, okay? Now, the way to read this is when the blue or light blue EMA crosses over the gold, you want to look at taking buy orders, right? Because as you can see, this whole section right here is an uptrend, and then it transitioned to an uptrend based on the green cloud. So rule of thumb is you can enter a trade after reading your candles, okay? Enter the trade and try to ride it up as high as you can. Always set stop losses. So you're gonna set your stop losses below the cloud, or if you do pip counting, things of that nature, that's up to you. Or just place it below the cloud, this cloud here. And then try to stay in the trade as long as you can. Now, when candles start to close below both lines, that's when you want to start getting out of the trade. That's an indication that you want to get out of the trade because it might be a reversal. But if it never crosses below the second line, you could try to stay in the trade for as long as you'd like. Okay. As you can see here, it bounced up and down off that line. This is all consolidation. You guys already know that. But then again, it started going back up here, right? And when did it cross over again? Right here. Okay. So you try to get out of the trade. But as you can see, the green cloud shows everything being in an uptrend. But if you notice, you never really got stopped out because your stop loss was all the way down here. You set your stop loss down here. So between there and all the way to the top of this trade, you would have been in profit. It really never stopped you out. Okay. All right, so that's an uptrend. Now let's look at a downtrend. Okay. Here's a downtrend because we have a red cloud, right? And what do we have right here? We have the blue line, light blue line crossing over the gold. And look at that, we have a drop, right? We have this is like a kangaroo tail, really. We have a drop in the trend, right? A bearish candle that engulfed the previous candle, right? And yeah, you could have entered this trade on the next candle, right? If you saw this drop, you would have entered the trade on this candle right here, right? Where would you set your stop loss? Well, based on your pip count or percentage or however way you set your stop loss, you place it above the cloud, right? And look at that. You would have rolled this trade all the way down because the rule is you start getting out of the trade when it starts when a candle closes above the two lines, right? So over here, you start thinking about getting out of the trade because this is where it crossed over again. So this is where you probably want to get out of that trade at this point in time. But if you look at the whole trend here, that's some serious pips right there from the top down. So if you take your pip calculator, you set it on this candle, you put it all the way down to the bottom, you would have got over 1,000. Well, it took 18 hours for it to drop. It looks like, wow, that's a lot of pips. Am I reading 10,153 pips or 101? Show you one of those. But either or, it's a serious trade. If you would have held on to it for 18 hours, you would have been in profit. So what do you guys think of this indicator?
I like it, man. I like it.
Yeah, it's a good guide. I mean, of course, you never want to set your trade based on an indicator, but you base it on a
Right.
couple of factors, right? You base it on your candlestick reading, you base it on trend reading, you base it on, you know, your lot size. But this is all confluence. This is all giving you direction. This is confirming that you're in the right direction, because you have all the, you know, then this is all I'm going to be using from going forward. This is the only indicator, these two indicators I'm going to use going forward, because it gives me a clear-cut picture of the trend, which is really nice, right? Now I don't have to second guess myself, because the green cloud is telling me it's an uptrend. The red cloud is telling me it's a downtrend. So I just got to prepare my entry based on my analysis. Okay, and that trade that I sent out to you guys in our private chat, our Facebook chat, was based on this indicator. And it worked like a charm. And all I had to do is just be patient, and it went in my direction. And I was able to close that trade out, make over like $1,200 based on that trade, which was really cool. Okay. So practice, 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 rewatch the video, you know, plot this stuff out on your trading view. Okay. You could set your own colors on your candles. Some people like to use red and green. I like to use these colors. Sometimes I use different colors. Okay. So yeah, I mean, back test this and see it, and it works on every index and every pair. All right, because if we do US 30, because lately that's been our favorite pair. That's our favorite index. It works on US 30 as well. Okay. And the other thing I wanted to mention was the peaks. Whenever you see a drop off, okay, and it has like a nice little pointy peak, you can set a support or resistance line on there. Okay, and it gives you like a supply zone. It tells you exactly what's going on in those zones. So for example, here's a peak right here. I'd put a line there. Okay, here's another peak. I'd put a line here. And as you can see, it bounces off those lines, right? Because now this is resistance, this is support, right? It broke through support, right? Went back up, it became resistance. Now it's pulling back down, right? And you have another peak here. So whenever you see a peak, you can put your lines there, which is really cool. Okay, and you could use those as supply zones or support and resistance lines. And yeah, this tool is a really cool tool. You know, if you want to use it, test it out, you know, see how it would work for you. But going forward, I think I'm going to be using this tool, because look at this, you know, it bounces off those lines. Okay, and it's all a downtrend, right? Right. And if you ride the downtrend, and this is your goal line, you ride the downtrend. When do you start getting out? Well, we're over here. When the candle closes above both lines, you try to get out. Okay. And then you pay attention to what's the trend's doing, because look at that, it start trending upward here. So you might want to consider getting in the trade around in this area. Okay. Set your stop loss below and try to ride it up. As you can see, ride it up. And you could use this also as a trend line, right? If we do this, put a trend line and start from right here and point it up, that could be a trend line. So it really bounced off the trend line, right? So anything below the trend line, you would consider trying to get out of. But look at that, it really never breached that trend line. It just stayed and bounced off of it and continued to go up, which is a really good thing. Okay. So you think you guys could try this out, see if it'll work for you?
Definitely.
So this is one step closer to becoming a master trader, right? I mean, there's so many indicators out there. There's so many ways to read the charts, but whatever tool you use, you're looking to be a successful, profitable trader. And that's the goal whenever you use an indicator. I mean, you could do, according to the that book, Naked Forex, you can pretty much, take everything off and read the chart on your own, right? Right. But when you put the indicators on, it just gives you a little bit more confluence to see, okay, is the direction of the trade going in my direction? And how do I know that? Well, I put on the black flag and I notice that it's green, it's an uptrend. Okay. I notice it's red, it's a downtrend. So now you don't have to second guess what trend you're in. Okay. Because the flags will tell you. Okay. And then you have your EMAs, right? Okay. Then you have your EMAs. You enter the trade when there's a crossover, when the blue crosses over the gold, buy trades. When the blue crosses, when it goes below the gold line, it's a sell trade. So you can pay attention to those as well. So it's a good tool. Okay, so that's what I wanted to share with you guys this week. Okay, if you guys want to analyze a pair, let me know. So I'm going to stop the recording and post this up and share it with everybody on the team. So